Hi, I'm Tricia, and I'm founder of the Nap Ministry. And I'm so excited to be here to speak about the guided meditation that I created for this brilliant and powerful exhibition. I'm so honored that I was asked to be a part of it. So powerful, and I really it took me a while to come together with what I wanted to do for this. When Allison reached out to me, I was so um, honored and taken aback in a lot of ways because the Breonna Taylor case and the entire story of her life really was something that really touched home with me for a lot of reasons. There's so many ways for Black people to be triggered in this country, so many ways that we have been traumatized. It's a daily occurrence. It's a ongoing occurrence. I can remember when Trayvon Martin was killed and how earth shattering that was, and how many of us are still healing from that. And there's this collective idea of grief that I believe sits in us. And I believe that grief is really a moment that is sacred. And I believe that we really don't give opportunity for us to grieve in this country. This country does not know how to grieve among so many things. And so I've been silently grieving the Breonna Taylor case since it happened. It's been really hard for me to process it. I haven't said much about it online. Even when it happened, I didn't post much about it on the Nat Ministries page. It really shook me to the core. And at the same time it happened, we were dealing with George Floyd and the uprisings. But that case really, for a lot of reasons, shattered me, and for it's two really important reasons. Because number one, she was sleeping while when she was murdered by the police. And so the fact that my calling in this work and the whole idea of the Nat Ministry as a meditation, as this political and social justice movement, pushing back against grind culture, pushing back against the idea that we are human machines for the system, really giving space and honoring the idea that Black people have rest as a birthright, that we rest is a human right. It's not something that we have to earn. And so sleep really is something that is so dear to me. I've kind of created my entire career at this point around this idea of sleep being sacred. And so for this young woman to be murdered while she was sleeping, so many ideas came to me. Was she dreaming? How far was she in sleep? Was she in the REM sleep? Was she deeply exhausted at the moment? How hard was she sleeping? How deep was her sleep that day? And so that shattered me to the core to think of someone being traumatized, even in a moment when they're trying to sleep, at their most vulnerable moment, at this moment of care, at this moment of pause, when we believe that resting and sleeping is really a portal that we can go into to imagine, to heal, to dream, this dream space. And so her being in a dream space and white supremacy attacking her and snatching her out of that dream space really shattered me to the core. And also another reason is because me and Brianna share a birthday. My birthday is June 5th, and so is hers. And so it touched me in a way that I don't think any of the other hundreds of murders of Black people by police has done. It really, she's a Black woman, I'm a Black woman. It really just shattered me. And so it took a while for me to come to a place to be able to know what I wanted to do for the meditation. But when I spoke with Allison, I knew that this would be in the remembrance section of the exhibition. This idea that in order to hurt, to really acknowledge, to heal, we really have to acknowledge the hurt, and having a space and these affirmations of care. So I really wanted to provide a space, a pause, an intentional moment for people as they are experiencing the exhibition to have a guided moment, for there to be space to breathe, for us to uplift silence, for there to be this collective grief moment, to catch our breaths. And really, that's what I wanted for it. I wanted it to be a space that we could remember together that our bodies and our lives are divine, and even in our alive moments, in our moments when we are no longer in this dimension, all of these are divine moments, and to really uplift the body as sacred, to lift all bodies as sacred, but to specifically uplift the idea of Black bodies being sacred, them being divine, of them being able to touch and navigate and shape shift into ways that we still probably have not tapped into yet. And so I started off really just uplifting that this is imagination work. And so I think the work of resting and sleeping and the work of art and the work of community care is really a moment of imagination, a moment of really imagining a new way, imagining this new idea, imagining a way that we can really see a new place. I believe resting is imagination work. I believe it gives us a moment to be able to go into a portal, highly influenced by Afrofuturism, influenced by somatics. And so knowing that our bodies are a site of liberation, that wherever our bodies are, we can find rest, we can find care, we can find a connection to the divine that we can't find in our awake moments. And so to connect that with Breonna Taylor's life and the moment in which she left this dimension when she was murdered and in her sleep is such a heartbreaking, shattering moment. But I also wanted to uplift the divinity of her and the divinity of her life and this peaceful moment of sleep, and how even in our death, I believe that we are still divine. And so I'm imagining Breonna Taylor and her legacy still being divine, and the divinity of us coming together to celebrate her life and to really imagine and examine her life in a way. And so that's why I feel like this exhibition is so important, why I feel deeply honored to be a part of it, to offer this moment and space for people to come through and listen to my voice and listen to this sacred idea of stopping, of pausing, of breathing, of continuing to breathe. And I repeat in the meditation a lot, thank you for living. You know, thank you for existing. Thank you for resting. Thank you for resisting. And this idea of deep gratitude for all of us, and this deep gratitude for this moment that we can like stop and see rest as divine, see care as divine, see remembrance as divine, see being a witness as divine, seeing the promise of now and the promise of the future. And so I started the recording by simply just sketching out an outline and just really wanted to make it a trance moment, a moment where people can actually go into a rested trance state. They can log on through their phones, through the app, and push the button and download and listen to my voice slowly for over 6 minutes, maybe 6 minutes and 18 seconds, leading and guiding and making space for this sacred moment. And so I started off wanting to create a trance, wanting to, no matter where you were, if you were standing in the museum, if you were listening from home, if you were reflecting, you know, after you left the museum, I really think it's so important that the Speed Museum has offered these educational resources so that this exhibition can live on, and it's not just this static moment that is taken down in June, but that it continues to live in our brains and in our minds and in our spirits. And so I wanted this meditation to be that. I really wanted it to be that. And so I'm so honored and grateful, and I hope that you guys enjoy it and see it as a space and a moment for care. We will rest.